What follows is a brief summary of the gruesome fate of many of the descendants of the Vikings. It is not nice, and in some regions it was scrubbed from recorded history. The forgotten genocide of the Norse. This prolonged and bloody purge was staggered and took place across Europe, from Ireland in 902, when the Irish captured the Viking city of Dublin, and other Norse settlements, putting these large populations of Viking descendants to the sword. To England, where in 1002 the Anglo-Saxons committed the St. Brice's Day massacre, an attempt to kill all the Danes living in England. Archaeologists still find mass graves dating from this widespread brutal massacre of men, women and children descended from the Danish/Vikings. Then the Normans showed up and decided that the troublesome north of England, which was to a large degree populated by the descendants of Vikings, needed to be dealt with. The harrying of the north, 1069. The Normans enthusiastically set about slaughtering and starving the population of the north of England, reducing the region's population by around 75%. Many descendants of the Danes/Vikings were allowed to stay across England, but hundreds of thousands were killed or displaced in this period. Things were worse in Normandy. The Normans, having defeated the King of France at the Battle of Mortemer, 1054, had only gone and conquered England, placing the French in a sticky position. For around 150 years, between 1050 and 1204, the kings of France repeatedly invaded the Duchy of Normandy. These raids were often small-scale and not designed to outright conquer the region, but rather to depopulate the descendants of the Vikings by the gradual destruction of their settlements and the targeting of Norman estates and slaughter of their Scandinavian subjects. The descendants of the Vikings who had settled in Normandy were actively targeted. Their Norse names conveniently identified the Scandinavian diaspora across the north of Normandy, resulting in many being purged, with those who survived being forced to flee to Norman England. The large-scale Viking settlement of Normandy is almost non-existent now, with very few modern Normans having Viking surnames or DNA. Significant Viking populations across the British Isles and the north of France were wiped out. We just forgot about it.